Since you are considering a fireball table, the big question for you, as was for me, is probably, do you go with the standard factory table or go with one of the seconds, Blems or blemish tables? When these tables are cast, they've had some imperfections in the casting of the tables, so that when they go to machine it flat, it's exposed some air pockets, essentially. And so those air pockets, when they get opened up from the milling process, expose pits in the table. Now, when I bought mine, I think it was a savings of close to $2,500, which is a pretty good amount of money. That'll buy a lot of fixtures and a lot of clamps. I had to decide whether I waited another 3 or 4 months, paid the higher premium for the table that didn't have any of the blemishes, or take the risk and get a table that I might be unhappy with. And so when I tried to call the Washington office for Fireball Tool, the number on their website, it took forever to get through. I called and I called and I called and I called. Once I got someone on the phone, she was great. And as I expressed my concern about whether or not to go with the blemish table, she said, not a problem at all. I understand the concerns. How about I email you some pictures of the different blemishes on the table? And I said, man, that'd be fantastic, because that was my big concern, that it get here and it's got some gross imperfection that I really don't want to deal with. When you spend this kind of money, you want the table to look good. And I understand over time it's going to get beat up, it's going to get used, but coming out of the box, it'd be like, you know, buying a car off the lot and it's already got some significant dings in it. And I didn't really want that. And I didn't want it to have any effect on the usefulness or effectiveness of the table. I didn't know if they were dipped or cupped or had any issues that way. And she assured me that was not the problem at all. It was just the exposing of some of these little pits. So let me show you what my table had. So coming down onto this corner, you'll notice that there's some different coloration in here. So what I think they've done is they've come in with some kind of a filler material and filled in some of the pits. Now, not all of it, but a lot of it, I can feel, you know, this stuff, not enough to catch a fingernail on. But on the corner, you can see that it's got some imperfections and there's spottiness all over. So it appears that they've come in, wiped something over, and then I guess trailed it off or sanded it off. But what it's done is it's left a little bit of that material in these holes. So when I come to put this on, well, actually it's better than it was. When I first popped them in, they were quite tight. And it was that excess material that was plugging up the hole. And it's kind of a silver color. Some of you guys might know what that is. I don't have a clue. And then coming down this side, you can see that there was some bigger areas here and some pitting goes down the side, but the table's flat. And so if I pop this in, oh, this one still has some of that excess material in it. So it'll take, you can see that kind of flaking off. Once you work it and get it in, it turns out fine. It knocks the rest of it out of there. But just know that you might have some of that on the table, but on the surface, this is really minimal. You can barely snag a fingernail on it. Using it will probably cause more damage to this over time. I hope not. But yeah, so the surface of this table is really good. And so as you come down, you know, you're not seeing any real pits. So it was almost like this corner of the table had the biggest issues. They mitigated it pretty well with some filler. But so then the question is it worth the savings? So for me, the $2,500 was absolutely worth it. Getting the pictures ahead of time put my mind at ease, so I didn't have to worry as much. But in my book, save the $2,500, buy more fixtures and clamps, or put it to other tools. I hope this helps. I'm Derek Ox with Rusted Ox. Keep building.